Good evening, everybody. Well, I decided I am going to do a quick craft video with my new camera and see how it comes out. I have a new tripod, the new camera, and I pretty much organized everything, I think. I'm talking quiet because it's nighttime. It's actually, what time is it? I don't know. It's late here. It is after 1 o'clock in the morning, but I'm gonna make some stuff for my Valentine's booth, and I've already started. I had this shutter and painted some letters that say love. Then I had this pillow and I thought this would be really cute, so I attached it just by putting some staples in the back, but love forever. And then I made a bow out of this wired fabric. Here's my bow. So I just made this little bow, and what I'm going to turn you down here so that you can see what I'm going to do. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to take my bow, and I thought it would be cute to be up here because I have the pillow down here that says love forever. And all I'm going to do is I made the bow and I tied it in the back. And I am going to just use some hot glue, a bunch of hot glue, and put it on the corner so that I can arrange the bow. Looking to see if you can see the bow on here. Put the bow there. Now I wasn't fond because it had that center part. So I got some bling. I had some brooches, some extra brooches. And I am just going to, instead of having that tied center on that on the bow, get rid of all the strings. I'm going to put a blingy little bling. I don't know if you can see that. A bling bow. And then I can, once that's all set, this is really great ribbon because you can make it fold really well. And I thought I would do something like this. And so this is how it has come out. Let's see. So I've got my blingy bow. It has a hanger here and it says love forever. And that's a little pillow that I stapled on the back. So I just took stuff I had in my house and I added some stuff together, and I made a little Valentine sign for my booth, and we'll see if it sells. These are just things I've had in my stash. So that's one thing that I've been working on. The other thing I've been working on for a while is a friend of mine cut out this Texas home, so it looks like the word home, but the O is in the Texas form. What I did was I got a very old map that we used to use, MapQuest, and I Mod Podged it on, and I still have to work on it and cut off some of these ends, and then I'm going to paint the letters, maybe red and blue for home. But I thought it would be fun to have this map of the Dallas-Fort Worth area and Texas in general. And so I just have to clean that up. So I'm going to paint that possibly tonight if I can get this stuck down. Okay, so for my next project, I was showing you my Texas home sign, and what I'm going to do is I got the pieces glued down, so I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to cut the excess pieces out on my cutting board. So let me see if I aim this down, if you're going to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, So I have a cutting board under here and I have a very sharp X-Acto knife, and hopefully this is dry enough that I can just cut around it and leave the paper on the front of the map. I always want to use a cutting board underneath, I like using the ones that pop back so that you don't ruin all your cutting boards. But I usually like to sand the excess paper off, but because I used so much Mod Podge, the map is made out of different paper. It's not thin paper anymore. It's like we use now. And that map was really thick paper. So I had to use heavy duty amounts of Mod Podge, which I usually don't like to do. I just like thin layers of it. But you do what you gotta do to get a project done. So I'm just cutting away the extra map from the front. Well, I'm cutting it from the back so that it hopefully will be smooth in front. See, there's like lots of layers. Much better. Okay, like I said, new with the camera. So this came out much better. I went around the whole Texas sign with the map, and now I've picked my colors, and these seem like large letters, but in truth, they're not really that large. So what I want to do, I have a level somewhere around here. Somewhere is my level. And, oh, this is good enough. It's not a level, it's my artist triangle, but it will give me the straight line that I need to stay in, because I don't want to paint over the next pencil. I try to keep everything organized in my workspace, and when I go to use it, then it's never organized, right? Is that just my story, or is that everybody's story? I need my pencil. Sorry, guys. Here's my pencil. And this is just so that I can make the straight line for home. See, it comes down to about here. And I'm going by where this ends. So this M will be here. H-O. This is M. And I guess if I have this right, so this will be the M, and this is the E. I don't know if I should bring that E over a little bit. I'll decide on that when I get to it, but I'm going to start with this red. I go and I will get Oops paints at Lowe's or Home Depot. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to plan ahead, believe it or not. This isn't the prettiest cover, but I don't want to be painting on my... Drop the camera again. Maybe it'll work from up here. Yeah, you'll be able to see from here. So what I'm going to do is clear off my workspace. I hate having a messy workspace, and it just seems like lately that's all I have is messy workspace. So I'm going to take my cutting mat down, and I'm just going to drape this little table I have with the mat. And that way, if I get paint on it, I'm not bummed that I ruined my mat. But I got this, just a regular paintbrush, but I like to use a thin paintbrush when I'm doing a line like this. And I did have to sand this down so that it's all flat, because it's more like an MDF board. So I'm just shaking this up. And this is called Brick Red. And I thought, how appropriate for Texas, right? Brick Red. So I'm going to start with the red. Let me see. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. So somebody who has Parkinson's and a shaky hand, this could be challenging, but I've done it for so long that hopefully I can cut into this without making too much of a mess. It's usually when I try too hard that I start messing up. See, now, once I get the straight line, then I feel more comfortable about using a bigger brush. I just want to, kind of like when you're painting your walls, and you got to cut the ceiling, they call it cutting in, so that you don't paint the ceiling the wrong color, or you don't want to mix the paints. So I'm kind of cutting in and get it going. Now I have to do this side for this H. Let's see how smooth I can go. It's like once I start, I don't want to stop because it'll make a mess. Let's see how smooth it went. I think I did a pretty good job of having this a straight line for the most part. I might just take this and dab it a tiny bit so that I can make even a straighter line. There we go. Now I'm going to take my larger brush where I can get in here and just paint the big part. Oh, my bracelet's gonna get in the way. I'm not very good about taking off my jewelry when I should, because I should just take it off, but guess what? I'm not. So this is part of my crafting. This is what I originally wanted to do YouTube for, was to do crafting, but I could never figure out the editing, and I still can't quite figure it out, but I'm getting better with help from my tutor, Evie, at Evie's retirement. She's into watercoloring right now, and she does beautiful watercolors, but she also has been a true friend of mine since we met on YouTube and don't live far from each other. She's been helping me with my new camera and how to edit. So this went on pretty smooth, I must say so. I really like this paint. I got it, I don't know if I got it at Home Depot. Maybe I did get it at Michael's. But it really goes on quite smooth. It's not blotchy. You can tell I'm not the most gentle when it comes to this painting. That's why I wanted to put a base down, so that put a cover on my tabletop. I should be sleeping, but my head hurts, and it stops me from sleeping because I lay there with a throbbing headache. So I'd rather be sitting here doing something constructive. Now this is where I don't want to go beyond. Remember, I have the H. And I don't think I'm just going to finish it off with the red. I think I'm going to put like a dark wax on it so that it doesn't just look stark red and stark white. I'm going to make it look a little ragged, shall we say? Rough. Okay, this is where I got to watch my line. There we go. I really enjoyed doing my live today. Met some great people on the live. Okay, I think I'll use my small brush here to do the top portion, because I don't need a huge brush to do this top. Just get the edges. Oops, I'm out of screen. Sorry, guys. I just want to get the edges done here, because sometimes it sneaks up on you and you forget that you actually had them to do. So I'm painting the edges. How did that piece get in here? There we go. Okay. See, here's one I forgot right inside. Because when it's hanging on a door or a wall, you want all the sides to be covered. So I'm pretty happy with how this has come out so far. H. Oh, see, you have to like turn it all the way around because you want to make sure you get all the crevices. And I was missing some. If you don't look at it from all angles, kind of, let's see. I'm out of frame again. Darn, I hate it when I do that, guys. But the only way I'm going to learn is if I keep doing it, right? I'm trying to get the sides so I don't. I really like this paint because it dries super fast. I think I got all the insides and outsides of this. Let me wash these two off real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and I'm just going to get myself a shot cloth and make sure, you know, I didn't get these cleaned out well enough, so I am going to get another paintbrush for my next color, because my next color is going to be like a creamy white, and you don't want the creamy white. Oh, the other trick I have, whenever you're sealing paint, if you don't use it a lot, like I don't paint every day, so my paints can tend to dry out, and so what I do is I take a piece of saran wrap, which I'm trying to cut, and I'm sure I'm off screen doing this, but I take a piece of saran wrap, cut it. Not saran wrap. Okay, there we go. So you just take a little piece of saran wrap that covers your workspace here, and you put this over it, and put your paint on it. Because one, it keeps the air from getting in, and it keeps your paint longer. And two, when you want to take your lid off, you know how sometimes you fight with the lid to get it off? Yeah. So this next paint I'm going to use is DIY Cottage Color, and you can put it in. It has a built-in top coat already. Now I have got to stir this up because it's a mineral-based paint, and it's nice because it lasts a little longer, I find, than some like chalk paints. It's a mineral paint, and you can spray it if you needed to add a little extra water to get it a little thinner. I didn't want to go with a pure white on this. I want to see how this comes out first, because remember I told you, oh, this is where I've got to get smooth line. Am I in the frame? So I'm trying to get a straight line, and I think I'm going to do what I did the first time. Since this is dry now, I will mark this, and I will only go as far as that will let me go. I'm still having this dilemma if I should make that M go all the way to the end, like all the way here to the E, or let that E have a little bit of hangover. I don't know. Maybe you can see it a little better if I do this. So this is the Cottage Color, DIY's Cottage Color. And not time for the Parkinson's to act up, right? So if you find that it's getting a little too thick, you can just give it a quick spray with some water, a water bottle. Now the red is not a DIY paint. It was just a regular acrylic-based paint. But I am just going to go over this real quick. I'm glad I got that line out of the way. That's my biggest hang-up, is trying to make sure that the lines are straight. I had a customer come in, and she is actually from, no, she was from Illinois, not far from where I lived. But she loves Texas so much, and her family lives here, so she wanted a Texas sign. And I had a sign, not this, but I had a sign. And I redid it for her colors, for her kitchen. And it came out super cute. I think she was happy with it. I sent it to her, and she was delighted with how it came out. So I have been known, oh, that one piece that I showed you on my live, that red piece, I took it in the garage and I sanded it all down, and it's back to mostly white again. It does have the tinge of the burn red, but that's okay, because I think I'm going to do a base coat of all white. I'll put it in my spray tent tomorrow, and I'll put it in the spray tent and do a base coat of white so that the paint will have something to adhere to, and I can do something more even like that I wanted to. So as you can see, this is not white. I didn't want it to be a pure white. I don't want any of the colors to be like bright. I don't want it to be like the bright red, white, and blue. I want it to be kind of cottagey, folky. We'll see how it comes out. I'm trying to be cognizant of all the sides and of what we're going through here. I'm hoping our store opens tomorrow with the weather. I even offered to go in. I'm like, if you need somebody, I'll be there to open up. I'm getting cabin fever. We went to Walmart before, because it gets below, it gets like 20 degrees at night, and so then everything freezes over. So we went to Walmart this afternoon, late this afternoon. And you know, I'm on this migraine medicine, and this migraine medicine makes me feel like I'm in a fog. But I wasn't the only person. I'm like, is everybody around here walking around like zombies? So there was one man in an aisle next to me. They were walking really slow, and I said, is it my imagination, or is everybody really walking slow and just aimlessly wandering, looking at the empty shelves? Our shelves were bare. There was no bread. And I mean, if there was maybe 3 loaves of odd bread that you've never seen before, it was there. It's probably the healthy stuff, right? But people were just, there was no music in the store. It was like the registers were working, but you just didn't hear anything. It was the weirdest feeling ever, even in Sam's Club, because I had to go pick up my medicine at Sam's Club. And it was just quiet. It was like, I don't know. And like I said, I know that I am walking around in a little more of a daze than I typically do. But this just seemed overwhelming. It just seemed like everybody was in slow motion. Maybe it was just a state of my being, but it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Oh, here's the side I forgot. I hope this is in the screen. I can't tell with my camera if it's showing. I'm trying to make it so it shows. But I really like how both of these paints have done a really nice job covering for what I need. Oops, see? I knew there would be a side that I forgot somewhere. Yeah, the hardest part was getting this map on here because, like I said, that paper is not your typical like paper that we use, 20-pound paper or whatnot. It was really thick paper. So right now, I've got this looking like home, and guess what the next color is going to be? You got it. It's going to be blue. Oh, found some more white that I didn't do. You just have to check it out, man. If you don't look at it from every angle, you're bound to miss something, right? Okay, I think I've got it all covered. Now, for the E. I'm looking here to see if I'm in screen or I'm out of screen. Yes, I will be in screen for this. And one more brush. I have some new brushes that I can use. Okay, now this blue is an all-in-one paint decor also. So it has the sealer built into it. And I'm probably going to have to stir this puppy up as well. Oh yeah. Okay. No, I haven't really used this one, so it's good to go. I didn't have to prep it too much. Now, let me make sure this is cleaned off. I have these great wipes, these industrial wipes. I'm sorry, this is probably all out of the screen's reach. But cleaning off that. And now I need to make sure I don't go over the white with the blue. So let's see how I do. Ooh, this is a pretty blue. I love this blue. There we go. I'm just going to make this blue go into the map. Blend it into the map. I should be able to pull this away. Yeah. Pretty proud of myself. I got a straight line for most of it, I think. I might have messed up here a little bit, but nothing I can't fix. I'll get this E done. Keep going. Yeah, this is when I could have used a bigger brush. Okay, I found out where the white, I didn't get white over here. Gotta make sure the blue just ends where the blue is supposed to end. There we go. Get a bigger brush, cover more space, take less time, but make it time that's clean and even after I got past the hard parts. Get all the sides. I don't want to miss it this time. Figure by the third color you get the hint of where you need to look, right? Let's see. Okay, bottom, just a line, and then the inside, just a line. See, I thought I got it all, and there's these little itty bitty pieces. Sorry if my head's in the way now. I just have to get used to figuring out how to do a video with crafting so I can still be part of it, and you can see the work as I do it. I might just add music to this too, so you might not even hear my voice, for all I know. Now this blue, it has gone on nicely, but I can definitely see where it's a little more temperamental, maybe because it's darker. And it is a little thicker. Okay, so this is not the end of what it's going to look like, because my intention... Okay, let me tilt this up now. This is what it looks like. So that's just so far. Now I want to wipe off my pad here so that I can put my wood back down without fear of it smearing all over, because my middle name is Hot Mess. I've said it a million times and I'll stop saying it. My mom didn't call me Grace for a reason. It's because I just go in like a bull in a china store and I just want to get something done and I do it. And sometimes I jump ahead of myself. I like to have a plan, but do I follow the plan? Not always. So I have this is my saran wrap holder. That last tug I just did, I screwed it up a little bit, but you just pull it down. Once you get the roll in here, you pull it out. Guess I'm just going to take this out. I must be down to the end of the roll because no more is coming up. But you just slice it like so, and then just make sure it covers the seal. And I usually take this piece off, this piece that comes on the inside. I take it off and then I seal the paint with that, and then it comes off really easily when you want to take off. So I'm going to go wash my brushes, and then maybe I'll come back and show you how the wax looks on here. So I'm real pleased with the coverage that I got and the fairly straight lines that I got. Now on the back I will paint it all white because it seeped down a little bit, some of the colors did. But that's not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. And when this is a little more dry, I'm going to take black wax or dark wax and I'm going to rub it over it to make it look a little more homey, rustic maybe is what you might want to call it. And it'll take away from the brightness of the paint. I don't want it to be real bright. I want it to be muted. I don't let anything go to waste if I don't have to, and this paint comes right off of the stir stick. And even if I don't want to use the stir stick after it dries, I can cut it in half and use the other half. So we got these wipes at this Habitat for Humanity, and they were only $1 for this big canister, and boy does it take everything off. Oops, paintbrush I didn't clean. I gotta go clean that. But anyways, I will probably be back tomorrow to finish this because I want to make sure that it dries enough before I put that wax on it. And it is already 3:30 in the morning, so I guess it's time for me to get some sleep, but I don't feel tired right now. So with that being said, thank you for hanging in with me, and I don't know how this video is going to come out, if I'm just going to add music to it and do a voiceover or what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye. Don't give up, because